Hi, everyone. Today for Tiny Tech Tips, I would like to show you how to use some of the prerequisite and required pieces in Canvas, especially when it comes to modules. So first thing you're going to want to do is grab a course that you want to try this in. And you'll see that a couple of the courses, a couple of these modules, I've already done this. So you're going to go to at the top of your module, you're going to go to the 3 vertical dots, which is called the kebab. You're going to then click on Edit. Now, in this window, you can always lock your module for a specific date, but if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see that you have prerequisites, and then you also have requirements. So prerequisite is if I wanted to say make the module ahead of this to be required. In other words, they have to finish everything in the first module in order to get to the next module. Now, in this case, I don't want that. Another thing that I want is maybe a requirement for my specific module. So in this case, I could say that students must complete all of these. I could say that they have to move through them in a sequential order, which means that the order in this case matters. It also says that students must complete one of these requirements. So depending on how you've set up your modules will depend on what you require. In this case, I'm having my students view 2 of my pages, and then I also want them to submit the assignment for these 2 pieces. So I've made each one of these a requirement. Now, if a student comes into my course, they'll see for this module that they should try and get check marks. So if I click on, say, my first page of my course, and then I go back to my modules, you'll see I now have a check mark next to the page that I viewed. In order to be able to get a check mark for these 2, though, I have to submit. And you'll see that it says submit under here, but under these 2, it'll say either viewed, because I've already looked at it, or view. Those are the requirements of it. So you'll see in another module, I require this as well, submissions versus viewing, right? So if you've got students who are motivated to get through the check marks, or if you want to make them required that they go in a specific order of something, you can do this through requirements. Let me show you prerequisite for a moment. So let's say that I don't want my students to be able to get to module 2 until they've completed module 1. Now, what that means is that my student will have to then go through all of module 1 before they're allowed to get into module 2. Now, I've already locked this one for a specific day and time, but if I add the prerequisite on here, what that means is that now my students must complete the prerequisite for module 1 in order to see module 2. That means that from the student view, they must make sure that all the check marks, so all of these little bubbles, are checked off in module 1 in order for them to be able to gain access to module 2. Hopefully you found this video helpful in using prerequisites and requirements in modules within Canvas.